Black like me. Black like me. Black like me.
You're listening to Black Like Me with Dr. Alex Gee, a podcast that invites you to experience the world through the perspective of one black man, one conversation, one story, or even one rant at a time. Here's Dr. Gee.
Hey, good people. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Black Like Me with Dr. Alex Gee. What an exciting season number 11 has been. I mean, we're talking to authors, and we're talking to influencers, and we're talking to thought leaders. And today we're talking to Globetrotters, and I don't mean basketball, I mean world travelers. We're going to talk a little bit about their experience in South Africa. But I just want to say that I'm so appreciative for our listeners, for our partners, for our Patreon supporters, because having a place like this to go on a regular basis, to talk about things that matter, gives us a break from talking about what's negative or what's ugly. And it reminds us that there are more beautiful things in the world than ugly and chaotic things. And so it's just great to have a healthy diversion that allows us to dream and to lean into a better future. I'm looking forward to the conversation today with the person that I've known longest in the world, and it's none other than my sister, Lilada Gee. And she is flanked by a colleague and a young lady that she mentors named Kay. Kay was on the podcast several years ago, I believe as a middle schooler, talking about some experiences that she had in the Oregon school district, and kind of dropped the mic on us a couple of times there. But she's back now as a grown young lady who recently had a very exciting 21st birthday. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But they're going to talk about their travels to South Africa. Lilada, how are you doing today?
I am great. Still got some jet lag going on.
Well, you wouldn't know it. You look great.
Thank you.
And Kay, how are you feeling today?
Amazing.
Oh, I love hearing that. So listen, Lilada has been a partner of crime with me in so many things, in creating Nehemiah, in developing and shaping Fountain of Life Church, particularly in the last 29, 30 years as we've grown in greater multi-ethnicity and influence in the community. I actually sat with Lilada and her daughter, my niece, Alexandra, to think up the name Black Like Me for this podcast. And most recently for the Center for Black Excellence in Culture. She's my co-founder in creating this beautiful 37,500-foot facility, $32 million. How much of that do we have to raise yet, Lilada?
We got all that money.
We got all that
all
money.
Them coins.
We got all them coins, all that their money, so that there's no debt on that facility. And so we just partnered on so many things. But I think it was last year, Lilada, I said to you, with your leadership hat on, both as a pastor, as a community influencer, as an artist, an activist, I'd love to see you do something that we've not seen a lot of, if I've never seen it. Well, certainly not in decades. I think Mother Ford, one of my mentors, may have done this, but I wanted to see you take a group of Black women on international mission and vision work. Mm-hmm. Mission work is where you're really going to help build, paint, dig. Vision is where you're going to observe to see how you can support the work, but also how you can be inspired for the work that you're doing. And lo and behold, within a year, you came back around and you had already signed up about 8 Black women to go on this trip with you. So first of all, let me just say kudos and congratulations for leading your first international trip with Black women, first African trip, because you've done this with women in the Caribbean, but your first African trip that involved some great leadership opportunities, a safari, and some other things. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I gave you this challenge about a year ago, and I knew you were going to do it. But I also knew it was going to take a little bit of time for it to sink into you that you could do it. In the beginning, though, did you have great doubts that you really could organize and put together a trip like this just for Black women, that you'd find the support or the Black women that would want to follow your vision in doing this?
No, I knew there would definitely be women who wanted to go. It was just a matter of, because I've been thinking about taking Black women to Africa for a lot of years. And it was something about the challenge that you gave me. It almost was like it's permission. You know, because you can talk about things that you want to do, and it sounds super good, but then when it comes to getting it done,
Yes.
you know, that's the challenge. So no, I know I could do it. I knew women would be really excited about it, but I think in terms of the minutia of the planning, I think is probably what scared me away.
Sure,
I just
the
feel like
logistics.
there's just a lot on my plate right now, and I asked somebody to help, and that was all the difference in the world.
Makes all the difference. How many women did you take with you?
I took 9.
You took 9 women with you, and they were just from Madison?
Madison, Chicago, and Atlanta.
Okay, and you were in South Africa for how long?
We were gone for 10 days.
Wow. And I'll start macro, then I'll come back in more micro. Was the trip what you dreamed it could be, an experience?
Yeah. It really surpassed
Wow.
what I had anticipated. It's not that anything happened that I thought, oh my God, I didn't know that would happen. But it just was so beautiful. It was everything that I had hoped it would be. And then it was better than that.
Yes.
You know, yeah, it just was wonderful.
I love it.
It was absolutely wonderful.
You know, just let me just say a special kudos to your leadership. I mean, you've been on this show. You've been very open with the public, social media about a breast cancer diagnosis. But yet, in the last year, how many times have you been to the continent of Africa? Or since last fall?
Like 6 times.
That's crazy. There's some pilots that haven't gone to Africa, and that's Kenya, South Africa, and West Africa?
Yeah, I went to Ghana twice. I went to Kenya, and then South Africa multiple times. Because I went by air and then I went by ship. And so I also visited some of the African islands. I went to Mauritius and I went to Madagascar.
Oh
and
my
another
goodness! Oh my
African
goodness!
Island, yeah.
And so I can just remember you saying to me, "I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Like I don't." And then you go to Africa, you know, these multiple times, and you take people with you, and you expose people. At least 3 of those times was on a missions vision trip. It's amazing the things that you're doing and creating space for other women to live, and just always exuding vibrancy in life, and that's got to feel like medicine in your heart, in your soul. But that's just amazing, the things that you're doing, and just in general. But to think you are not twiddling your thumbs, but just wondering, what do I focus on? And then you get this focus.
But you know, like when you got to face with death, you either get very confused or very clear.
Oh.
And it's probably a level of both. And, you know, it's like, okay, now you're telling me I don't have $1 million. You're telling me I have $100 for the rest of my life. So I got to be really careful on how I spend this $100.
Right.
Where do I spend it? You know what I'm saying? And so I think I was in that space like, man, they're telling me I have limited time. What do I do? And instead of saying, oh, I want to do all these things, I felt initially paralyzed. And then, you know, through, you know, a lot of support from my children, from you, you know, I was able to have a crescendo where I was like, okay, now it's time to stop making excuses because your time is limited and everybody's time is limited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now do the things that you've been talking about you want to do, but didn't do because you didn't realize it was urgent and important.
Right.
So I'm living in that urgent and important quadrant. And I think that's where the clarity has come in. And do these things that have been on your heart and your spirit that matter most to you. Travel. You know, I wanted to be on a cruise for a month. I've thought about that for years and years.
Yes.
And then I did it twice.
Yes.
and so there's no excuse. Like, what for? Like, I heard somebody rich say, like, would I want to leave money for somebody else to enjoy? I'm like, let me spend what I got while I'm here. Let me enjoy life.
Yes. I just feel like the people who work for TSA ought to know you betwixt your going and coming in and out of America. That, hey, Lilada, welcome back home, or hey, see you soon. Where you're off to now?
Right.
It's just amazing. I just want you to know that the people who know you and love and respect you see you out here living and thriving, and I think that does have benefits. I think that's why you're encouraged and your medical team's encouraged by just how well you're doing and faring, but because you're not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs, and you're not just living your best life by yourself. You're doing what you do. You're being who you are. You're seeing how others can come and learn and grow, and I really appreciate that.
Well, can I just dive off a little bit? Everybody is different in their journey and what they do and what they're going through and how they do it. But I made a decision early on that I wasn't going to let breast cancer take over my whole life. And of course, I thought about it initially every second.
Of course.
I don't think about it all the time. Like, I don't even think I meant to make a post doing breast cancer awareness month. I don't even think I put a post up. I'm not trying to be that girl. I'm not wearing them pink ribbons. I'm not trying to do that. And for some people, they need that.
Sure.
Okay? For me, I needed not to make cancer bigger than it already was. I needed to shrink cancer in my life. And it's come from being able to focus on, doing meaningful work, doing my art, working on the center project.
Yes.
I
mentoring young ladies.
There was no time after a while to sit around and suck my thumb. And I think the fact that I made that decision has helped shape who I am today, making being diagnosed with breast cancer the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Dang, that's a podcast episode, right? That is so powerful. So, Kay, how does it feel to sit where you are as a young lady who left the United States at 20, came back at 21? And I'll just talk real general. How does it feel to walk in the shadow of or benefit from the mentoring and the leadership of someone like Miss Lilada with all that she's doing and juggling? Because you're in a mentoring group, you went to Africa with her. How does it feel to be on the receiving end of what she's hoping to be doing with her life?
To be on this end, it feels fake. Like, it doesn't feel like it was something that was possible. Like, my whole life, I flew on a plane, but it was always to go back home to Georgia. It was never, my goals were like to go to school, maybe get a car, not to travel the world at 20 years old and go to South Africa with a bunch of Black women. Would have never thought that, especially so young, because on the trip, I heard a lot of women talking about they never thought they were going to get here, and they're in their late 40s, 50s, and to me, to be 20 and in a position that they had to work so hard for, it felt like it just didn't feel real. Like, what do you mean I'm here and I'm able to be at the table that somebody else was able to fight for me to have? Like, she put in the work. She continues to be obedient to what God tells her to do. And because of that, I get to walk on the red carpet. And I get to brag that I went to South Africa and I had my 21st birthday out with the lions.
Right.
And you guys were the snow. So, like, it just feels fake. But it also feels like this could be my life. Like, this isn't something I have to wait until I'm retired.
Yes.
Like, I can have this today. Like, it doesn't just have to be a dream. Like, this is possible with nothing. And that was just, it opened my eyes because it felt like being so young, but being an adult. People treat you like you should know what you're doing, but they don't expect you to know what you're doing. They have high expectations. Like, well, you need to be an adult, but also you need to not be an adult. And I'm like, you're confusing me. Like, I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. Whatever. But to not have any limitations, like, you can't tell me now really what to do because I was in Africa. So I've seen places that you have never seen. So obviously I'm doing something right.
I know that's right.
Obviously, I may not have all the answers, but I got something.
Yes.
I got to see the world at such a young age. Now my expectations are to the moon for what I don't even know what next year's going to bring, what 5 years, 10 years down the line, but they're high for sure.
I love it.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
Lilada, of the women who flew with you, how many sat in circles or rooms as your mentee? We know your daughter did because she's your daughter.
Right. I would say 3.
Okay. And am I allowed to say the first names of the women who went, or should I? So, like, Bobby went with you, and she was in your girls group.
I knew
Approximately
her
how
in
many-
middle school.
You knew her
I
in middle
worked in
school,
her middle school.
and now she's an adult and has an adult daughter.
She's a grandmother.
Bobby's a grandmother, but so wow. So you knew this grandmother when she was in middle school. Chiffon. How long have you known her?
Since she was in middle school.
And is she a teacher, a school teacher?
She's a professor even.
Is she really?
Yeah.
And you knew her when she was a teenager. She
Yes.
calls you godmommy.
Yes.
Of course, your daughter, Allie. And then Kay is new to the circles because I know that they're just rooms where you
I
just...
guess 4.
So you bring these young ladies together to talk about life. And then, of course, Linda, who's a cousin, but you're an older cousin, and certainly have steered her, have encouraged her. But in terms of form, like in a formal structure being mentioned by you, so almost half of the women you took are folks that you've been investing in for decades.
Yes.
And how did it feel to have that full gamut, someone as young as Kay and then a grandmother on your group, knowing that you have invested in these young ladies? You told them you can get through middle school, you can get through high school, you can get through college, and then you got passports and you're hanging out in the lounge in not
Doha.
Dubai. Where were you? In Doha.
Doha.
In Doha. Like you're sitting up in the lounge in Doha with black women.
With our legs crossed.
With your legs crossed. Were there a lot of black women in the lounge in Doha?
There were not. And funny little thing is, we were traveling with all black women. Did none of us have a problem with those who wore bonnets while we were traveling? Just so you know.
Just so you know.
We didn't have no kind of problem with it.
So you all could wear bonnets and nobody said, "What are you doing?
Nope.
Take that off."
No.
That's right.
Well, like, did you bring an extra one? Because I forgot mine. Yeah. It was beautiful. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Kay, how long did it take to just hit you that you were in South Africa, that you were on the continent of the motherland? Like, how many days were you there before you realized, wait, this isn't just like the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains. Like, I'm in Africa.
I would probably say the 3rd night. At that point, we had seen maybe 2 different villages. And I was going to bed, and I was checking the time, and I said, wait, I'm in South Africa. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not just in the States on vacation. Like, I'm here with the people, in the land, with the sun. It took me a little minute. And then I had to keep reminding myself
The whole trip.
that I'm like, by the Indian Ocean. What do you mean? I'm by the Indian Ocean. What do you mean? I'm in South Africa. What do you mean? I'm at the safari. What do you mean? Like, it just didn't. I had to keep reminding myself constantly that I was there. Because it also felt so like I've been there before.
It felt familiar?
Yeah. It felt
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just, this is Auntie's house. Like, I'm going to Auntie's house to see my cousins, see the little kids, eat the food, sing with them. So it felt so familiar that I kind of forgot that, no, I don't know these people. I've never been here. So that was also very weird.
Were you anticipating such a warm welcome from South African blacks of African American blacks?
No, I didn't. Like, my expectations weren't like too high because I've heard everyone else. I've heard you guys talk about it and the children. And, like, I was very excited to see the kids and see them dance and all those things. But I didn't know what we were doing. I didn't know if they were going to be nice to us or they were going to even like us. Like, I didn't know any of that. And I was not expecting them to act like we were some long lost cousins that they have been waiting on us for decades. Like, every time, didn't matter what time of day, if they got up early, late, they would dance and sing and just go full out, like generations, not just the kid, like the women would get on the floor, up the floor, down the hill, just rolling and screaming and shouting for us like we have been touched by God. And I was like, oh my gosh, they are so happy to see us.
Yeah.
Like I would have never, you hear so many stereotypes about South Africa in the United States. And so I didn't know if they were going to be welcoming or if they would even want us there. I don't know if they thought that we were better than them, but it was none of that. They were the most welcoming people I've ever met in my life.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, is it crazy out here. And I don't think it's just me. Look, it's 2025. Trump is back in office, and some days it seems as if the sky is falling. There's so much uncertainty in the world right now, but I love that sitting down right here in front of this mic and letting the hard truths rumble out of my heart and off my chest is as certain as it ever was. Season 11 is gathering steam, and you're in for a real treat. Let me just tell you. When I reflect back on all of the seasons that we dropped here at Black Like Me podcast, each of them has had a special purpose, a one-of-a-kind lineup of guests, and its own unique field. I also think about the thread that binds them all together. What we do here at Black Like Me is unique. I don't have another space that feels just like this, where I can really speak from my unique perspective. And the guests who have on the show remark that these interviews they do here are unlike any others that they've done in other places. Sure, nobody else does Black Icebreakers, but that's only part of it. We have created a truly unique space here where honest conversations about the thoughts, the ideas, the policies that affect Black people and that Black people care deeply about. And you know what? It isn't easy. And I don't do this all alone. I have an incredible team that has steadily grown over the years, and each person that joins adds another asset to what we can do here. And all of you that support us on Patreon, my people, my people, my people. We simply would not be able to do what we do or get what we have gotten without you. So as we look to even bigger and better things in the coming season, please help support the show right now by clicking the link to Patreon in the show notes and join the community of people supporting this unique and provocative space. In the world that we're living in, where there's so much attack on our perspectives, our history, our bodies, and our lives and contributions, aren't you glad you have a place where you can still hear powerful, exhilarating, intellectual Black thought like you do? I enjoy it. And so if you do too, share the good news, tell friends, click that Patreon link now. Thank you so much for your support of Black Like Me podcast with Dr. Alex Gee. Later, the beautiful part about leadership development is when you get to share experiences that were key to your learning or your own development. Mm-hmm. Can you think of key things that you taught or exposed women to that you remember learning? Whether it's respecting culture or...
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the best lessons I learned on an international trip with Mother Ford was just really...
And this was our pastor's wife who
yes.
took us to Europe in 1985 when you were a teenager and I was a senior in college.
Yeah. She taught us that you have to be flexible when you're traveling internationally.
Yes, she did.
Because things can happen. You know, she had gotten her luggage stolen and she just had such a great attitude about it. So that has helped me to just, and I try to pass that on.
To be flexible, accepting, don't be uptight.
Right. Things aren't necessarily going to go according to plan. I think the other piece is don't eat any fresh food. That's my big one. Don't eat any fresh fruit. Don't eat any salad.
So you didn't say fresh food. You said fresh fruit?
Fresh fruit, not fresh food. But we were fine. But that's usually one of the big things I tell people.
Because they wash it with unpurified water?
Exactly. And so
Or
if your
unfiltered.
body is not used to that water, you will get sick. You know, so I could tell you some funny stories that happened in the Dominican Republic about that. But and I hope our motto just getting with the people. Like when I travel, I like to have touch points. I like going to the grocery store. I like people watching, you know, all that and getting to connect and talk with people, especially women, you know. I hope that's something that I model.
Sure.
Yeah, you go there and you engage. Don't watch people like you watch the TV show.
Sure. The organization that you went to visit was Zamele Wetu. We'll put a link to this, run by Dr. Audrey Matamelo. And she's just a phenomenal international leader that's helping women grow independently by investing their money in their own finance club where they calculate interest by hand, attendance, late fees, all of these kinds of things. Had they ever been visited by a group of black
Nope.
women before? By a group of black women?
No. Never.
Wow, never. So groups,
No, not from, you know, someone from the States coming over there.
right? Wow, and that was your intention. You wanted
That was my
Audrey.
intention,
So how did Dr. Audrey? We can talk about how the women responded, but the director of this program, and she wrote her doctoral dissertation on leadership development strategies in South Africa. But how did she respond having this group, this cadre of black women coming from the U.S. to visit her work and to support her?
Well, it was unique to her because she had never done it either. And
She had never experienced it?
she had never experienced it. So I think for her, I feel like she felt she could let her hair down. And we just laughed the whole 10 days. You know, just laughed. And when we left, she wrote us a note. She said, I don't know what I'm going to do without you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I could imagine the sisterhood. And I think one great thing that's taken place is that they have a board that helps to govern their activities and money comes to them. And can I say this about Allie's new role?
can.
That your daughter Alexandra was just named to the board for Zamele.
Yes.
So for her to be this young leader who went to South Africa as a learner, helped to co-facilitate with you. Now she's on the board helping to make decisions and funding
That's so
opportunities
awesome.
for this organization.
Yes.
That's such a rich level and experience of leadership development.
Yes.
Kay, you probably
about
had a very exciting 21st birthday because not many people turn 21 years old in Africa. First of all, how did your folks let you go to Africa
Right.
knowing you're going to have your 21st birthday? Because I don't think I would let my baby go on the 21st for the 21st birthday because I would want to be celebrating. But one, was it hard to convince them to let you go and experience your 21st birthday on another continent all those miles away?
No, I didn't really do convincing. It was more like I'm going. Catch y'all when I see you. They know me. I'm their daughter. I can spend any other birthday with them. Like I'm going to South Africa. It just happened to land on my birthday when we were going to be there. So I went.
Wow.
I don't know if they were convinced or not, but I was going.
And what was it like? So did you feel like you had to celebrate your 21st birthday by yourself, or did you feel like you celebrated it well?
At first, I didn't know. Like I was okay with just because we were going to the safari on my birthday, and so I was hyped after that. When I realized we got the itinerary and we're going to safari, I said, "Oh yeah, that was it." And that was my only expectation, was to see the animals and to get surprised from the second I woke up to the second I went to bed. Was like the most amazing birthday I ever had. And like now I tell people like there's Hawkins/G in my last name.
That's right. That's right.
Like you can't get rid of me now.
Nope, that's my baby
I'm
right
part
there.
of the family of
Yes.
birthday reunions. I'm in
Yep.
there. Like you can't love me like that and then tell me to go back.
That's right.
You can't. Like it was the most amazing birthday ever. Like it was just nice to be around people, like being around all black women, and they were pouring into me and giving me advice and loving on me, and I got surprised with cake and roses and a Coach bag, and it was like all these different things that just kept going further and further and further and further, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm in South Africa. Like
And.
It was the most amazing birthday of my whole life.
Oh, okay. You got me kind
I
of
love
teary.
that. I know.
That is really, really wonderful.
Yes.
Lilada, I know you can think about the various individuals and
Mm-hmm.
how they may have grown, but as a group of Black women, did you see signs of them coalescing or connecting or, I don't know, problem solving or processing what they were seeing in ways that were encouraging?
Yeah, so most people didn't know each other. I knew
Okay.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Most people did not know each other. And by the time we flew from Madison to Chicago, by the time we made it to the gate at Chicago, we were all best friends.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like by the time we made it to the gate, and then especially that first leg of that flight. So like people like Dr. Audrey was shocked to find out that many people just met on the trip.
Okay.
Because she just thought the way we gelled together. And for me, it was a mixture. So I'm taking someone I'm mentoring. I'm taking someone that is my daughter. I'm taking my younger cousin. You know,
A doctoral student.
yeah. So it was like this cluster of people from different areas of my life who came together. And man, you would have thought we've known each other for years and years and years.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a couple of links in here. One, Dr. Audrey was on the podcast a few episodes back. We're going to link that one so people can know more about her work.
Yes.
But I'm also going to link a website if people who are listening would love to support work that you're doing, because you also provided Black dolls
Yes.
for South African women, as well as raise funds to help some of the women who just needed financial support to go, because you had moms, you had young folks, you had people with other responsibilities. So we'll put a link so that people can at least communicate with you to say, we'd like to know the next time you do this trip. But talk to me about your Black doll campaign, because that might just seem like it's just sort of simple, but just being your brother, I know you've always loved those. Who's the young Barbie? Was it Kimmy? Was that?
Kimmy was a teenage girl.
But
That
she was Black.
Barbie's little sister.
Oh, no, Kimmy. But I can't.
Was her name Barbara? I don't know what the Black girl's name was.
I'm drawing a blank. But I remember when there was a Black Barbie doll, you were just out your mind that
Yes.
you loved that. But talk to me a little bit about how you took dolls over for young girls. But
Yes.
but wasn't there a surprise to how some of the Black women responded when you gifted them with dolls?
Yes. It's like the little girl comes out in women when they get those dolls. And surprisingly, most people would think, oh, well, they're in Africa, surely. A lot of Black countries that have been colonized do not have Black dolls.
And
No,
so-
I've gone into toy stores and a lot of places to look for Black dolls.
So how did some of the women respond?
They grabbed it and pulled it to their chest immediately. And just got possessive, didn't they?
Very.
Like, this is my doll right
They
here.
didn't want nobody touching their doll, looking at their doll. They wore it. She made a little scarf and was having it on her back.
Right.
Like it was a real baby.
Yeah.
Oh, she did the rap and carried the baby on her back?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. They loved it.
Oh my goodness. Lilada, how have you changed as a leader? How do you see yourself differently? I know you're still processing along the jet lag, but you've pulled off something that hardly anyone does in the world. Very few people have received groups like yours. So when you sit back and think about the experience that you've given women, the aggregate impact, and that you spearheaded that, one, how do you feel? And two, does it encourage you to do more of these? Are you starting to think about the next trip?
We already set the date for the next trip.
You already set the date for the
Yes.
next trip.
So, yeah, it's, anytime you have a win, it makes you ready for the next thing. And it's just a reminder that this is part of what I'm supposed to be doing. And I love it. Travel is one thing I love the most. And to be able to do it with people who are joyful is wonderful.
Can you see yourself doing workshops and trainings when you're in South Africa?
Definitely. And I would like to talk to Dr. Audrey, maybe one of our next trips, to be able to do some training, some workshops with her staff.
There are a lot of cultural similarities between folks who are part of the Black diaspora, But then, of course, socioeconomics played a role. You know, we're from America, first world country. This is rural and remote South Africa. Were there cultural differences or barriers that you may have thought could be insurmountable, but you all found ways around it, or?
No, I think it's kind of like what Kay said. You're not really sure what to expect, but when we got there, it just felt so familiar. Like even some of the African food, we didn't know what some of that stuff was called, but it tastes like grandma's food.
Yes, yes.
You know, there was a familiarity with food that was unfamiliar, and there's even we had a conversation thinking back. I said, guys, think back when we were at that village. Do you remember that we couldn't speak Zulu and they couldn't speak English? Like, no, you didn't even recognize that we weren't speaking the same language because we were connecting so well. It's just like, wait, weren't we talking to them? Weren't they talking to us? No, but we were communicating.
Wow. Well, Black women don't have to be from Wisconsin or Chicago, Illinois, or Atlanta, Georgia to go. So for my Black women who are listening, who are just being jazzed by this, even if you're as young as Kay, 20 or 21, or others, there's time to begin putting money away and putting plans to do another trip. Will the next one be in the fall?
September.
Okay, so that gives you good time to plan. And so with the link that we're going to drop in the show notes, people can email you to say that they have an interest in going. Is it too soon to be inviting people from outside the networks here?
No, people could express their interest now because, you know, I think after there were so many people who were very interested the first time that didn't go. But since seeing our pictures, they're like crying, looking at the pictures and whatnot.
Because they should have gone.
They should have gone. So I think that the seats are going to go by fast.
Definitely. And again, for folks who would just love to support Black women doing this, we'll put the link is in there so that you can share your interest, figure out how you may support them. You can certainly make a tax deductible donation. We'll have all that information that where they can make that. Thank you all. I know that you have other meetings, that you're able to step out of to come in the studios with me to do this. But I appreciate, your leadership, Kay, that you had this experience, and to think of all the stuff that Miss Lilada's doing. She had just had one out of the country trip to Europe. But when you think about all the things you've experienced right now, you can be doing even more than what she's doing. So it's got to be great to think about your future. All right. Well, thank you all for your leadership and for the ways that you've grown and for sharing that with my listeners. I want them just to see exciting things that's happening with women, Black women as missions leaders.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, sure. It's my pleasure. All right. Take care.
All right.
Black like me. Black like me.
I want to thank you for taking time to listen to this episode of Black Like Me podcast with Dr. Alex Gee. If you like that opening track of our theme song, you can show your appreciation to Corey Saffold, who created that and produced it, and Marcus Fleming, my cousin, who's on vocals. I also want to say that this podcast was started with the generous support of the Human Family Unity Foundation, and so we always want to stop and thank them for that. For the many patrons who support us through our Patreon page, thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't just listen, but you support, you lean in, and you help this podcast to be what it is. And then I need to thank you, the listeners, who make a point of downloading this, listening to it, and sharing it. Without all of you, this podcast would not be what it is and what it's becoming. Thank you so much.